Ever feel like love just isn't enough to make everything work? Like you've given your heart, your time, even your best effort, but somehow it still feels incomplete. It's like trying to hug the wind. No matter how tightly you hold on, you just can't seem to grasp it completely. In this episode, I want to talk about something that might feel heavy but is so important for us to understand. Love isn't always enough. Because, let's be real, we often believe that as long as there's love, everything can be worked out. But the truth? Relationships need more than just feelings of affection to survive. I'm not here to say love doesn't matter. Love is the foundation. But a foundation alone isn't enough if you don't build walls on top of it. Walls of trust, communication, and commitment. So if you've ever felt like your relationship didn't work out even though the love was there, let me tell you one thing. It's not your fault, and it's not theirs either. Sometimes, love just isn't enough. But don't worry, we're going to unpack this together. Get comfy, take a deep breath, and let's dive into this story. If this is the kind of topic you've been searching for, listen closely. We're gonna deep dive together. It's me, here with Stories Before Bed, keeping you company with a story I hope truly means something. Have you ever believed that as long as there's love, everything will be okay? Like you feel love is the answer, the solution, the key to every problem in a relationship. But you know what? Reality doesn't always work that way. A relationship is like building a house. Love is the foundation, sure, but you can't just have a foundation without walls, a roof, and everything else that makes the house sturdy. Love is the base, but relationships need more to survive. Let me give you an example. You might love your partner so much, but if your communication isn't working, what's going to happen? Maybe you expect them to understand how you feel without you saying anything, but guess what? They're not mind readers, bro. If you don't speak up, they won't know. That leads to frustration, misunderstandings, and in the end, love alone isn't enough to save that relationship. Then there's trust, something we often take for granted. But love without trust is like living in a house with cracked glass. The moment there's pressure, the whole thing can shatter. If you don't trust your partner, how can love grow? And lastly, different goals. This is another thing that makes relationships hard. You might love someone deeply, but if you're craving stability while they're still out there wanting to explore the world, it's like walking on two roads going in opposite directions. You'll keep pulling at each other until one of you gets tired. What I want you to know is, love isn't wrong. But sometimes, we try to force love to be the solution to all our problems, when in reality, healthy love isn't just about feelings, it's about effort. The effort to communicate, to trust, to understand, and to walk the same path together. And you know what else? Sometimes love also means knowing when to stop. If a relationship is making you lose yourself, love alone isn't enough to keep you going. And that's okay. So if love isn't enough, how can we build a relationship that's truly healthy? So if love alone isn't enough, how do you build a truly healthy relationship? I know saying it is easy, but trust me, building a strong relationship takes time and effort. It's not instant. It's like baking a cake. You can't just have the ingredients. You need to know how to mix them properly to make something delicious. First, communication. I know it sounds cliche, but honestly, without communication, you've got nothing. Have you ever been super frustrated with your partner, but chose to stay quiet, hoping they'd somehow understand? The truth is, that just traps you in your own head. So from now on, try to talk. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. Sometimes, honesty is more important than fearing you'll say something wrong. Second, trust. Trust is like a bridge. Once it's broken, it's really hard to fix. So, don't let small things like unnecessary suspicion or overthinking destroy your relationship. If there's something bothering you, talk directly to your partner. Don't let your mind create scenarios that may not even be true. Third, understanding. This is something we often forget. Relationships are all about teamwork. You need to know what your partner wants, and they need to know what you need. If your visions don't match, talk about it. Compromise isn't always easy, but that's where healthy relationships are built. From understanding each other, not from who wins. Lastly, and this is the most important, love yourself first. Because if you can't love yourself, how can you love someone else? Never let your relationship be your only source of happiness. You need to have something that makes you happy on your own, without depending on anyone else. Hobbies, dreams, time for yourself. All of these are crucial for a balanced relationship. A healthy relationship isn't perfect, but it's a relationship where two people are trying together to become better, not just for themselves, but for each other. So don't be afraid to try. As long as you know what matters, you'll be fine. And if you know what you should do, here's the next question. What if things still don't go according to plan? You know, even though we've given our best, sometimes relationships still don't go according to plan. And it hurts, bro. It feels like you've built this beautiful sandcastle, but with just one little wave, everything crashes down. But I want you to know, that's not the end of everything. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. We think, what's wrong with me? Or, am I not good enough for them? But you have to remember, a relationship isn't just about you. It's about two people. And sometimes, no matter how hard you try, if the paths aren't aligned, that relationship can't be forced. I heard a quote once, "Some people come into your life as blessings, others as lessons." And that's so true. Sometimes, a failed relationship isn't about your failure, but about a lesson you need to learn. You learn about what you need, what you can't accept, and how to be better in future relationships. If everything feels heavy, give yourself some time. It's okay to cry, to be angry, or even to do nothing at all. Healing doesn't have a timeline, but one thing you need to know, you'll be okay. Slowly, the pain will fade, and you'll see yourself become a stronger person than before. And most importantly, never feel like you're unworthy of love just because one relationship didn't work out. You are valuable, and you deserve to be loved in the right way. A failed relationship doesn't mean you failed as an individual. It just means there's something better waiting for you ahead. So if things don't go as planned, take some time for yourself. Look back at what you've learned from that relationship and use those lessons to move forward. Because you know what? You're stronger than you think. And now it's time to talk about the last and most important thing: how to love and accept yourself, even when things don't go as planned. Loving yourself isn't easy, especially after disappointment or pain. But you have to remember, you are worthy. The most important love is the love that comes from within yourself. You don't need approval or validation from anyone else to feel worthy of love. Love yourself with all your flaws and strengths, because that's what makes you whole. Try giving yourself space. Take time to explore what makes you happy, outside of relationships, whether it's pursuing hobbies, focusing on your career, or just enjoying time alone. When you learn to love yourself, you'll be more ready to give healthy love to others in the future. Don't let failure or pain ruin your view of yourself. Every experience, whether positive or negative, gives you a chance to grow. And that's the first step to loving yourself. So even when things don't always go according to plan, remember, you are worthy of love, you are worthy of happiness, and you have the potential to create better relationships in the future, starting with loving yourself. After everything you've been through, your efforts, your love, even your pain, there's one thing you need to remember. You are the first person who must love and accept yourself. Because no matter how much love you receive from others, if you can't love yourself, everything will feel empty. You know, loving yourself isn't just about standing in front of a mirror and saying, "I love myself." It's about how you treat yourself every single day. You wouldn't tell your friend, "You're stupid for failing," would you? So, why do you say that to yourself? Start treating yourself the way you treat your best friend. Show understanding, give yourself patience, and allow yourself the chance to learn. I know sometimes it's not easy. Some mornings you wake up and the first thing on your mind are all the things you think make you not enough. But try to look at it from another perspective. Every scar you carry, every failure you faced, is proof that you dared to try, that you cared enough to feel. And that's something not everyone has. Loving yourself also means setting boundaries. Don't let others treat you in ways that are beneath you. Don't be afraid to say no if something doesn't align with what you need or want. Because loving yourself isn't about being selfish. It's about protecting yourself so you remain whole. And lastly, don't forget to be grateful. Be thankful that you're still here, still fighting, and still have the chance to create a new story. Because in the end, your life is about you, not about who is or isn't in it. Love is important, but loving yourself is the most important thing. So tonight, before you sleep, I want you to do this. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, "Thank you for holding on. I'm proud of myself." Because you deserve that. And with that, we come to the end of today's story. I hope that what we talked about gave you some relief, some understanding, and maybe a bit of courage to keep moving forward. Remember, love is beautiful, but the most important love is the love you give to yourself. Until we meet again in the next bedtime story, I hope your days ahead are filled with hope, laughter, and happiness. Good night, and don't forget to dream big. Bye.